known as on blockchain, and I'm sitting here with Nova Lorraine. Hi Nova, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Excellent. Excellent. So we are here in DC discussing blockchain, the metaverse, but really my question for you, Nova, is how do you think blockchain is affecting financial literacy?
That's an excellent question, and I'll start with my own personal experience. So, I was introduced to Bitcoin in 2013, and it was a very different conversation then of what Bitcoin was, or at the time what it is. But I was fascinated with this technology of blockchain, and then having currency attached to this technology. And following that through the years, and then discovering Ethereum, and then Dash, and Litecoin, and then XLM, and all these other coins that really are the foundational technology for the future of our financial system, of our economy, so to speak. And as I would say 2017, I dove into learning more about cryptocurrency, blockchain, as it relates to that side of things, the finance side of things. And in 2020, January 2020, I started day trading.
Wow.
Full time. And it was with Play Money. And it was more of an educational experience. It was a way for me to nerd out around the technology. I had to learn about it, because how are you going to buy and sell something you know nothing about? And it introduced me to the semantics, the definitions, the use cases, the utility, the partners, the future of. And the more I learned, the more fascinated I became. And then, there's a saying out there, like, if you want to learn about something, follow the money. And so it also was an eye-opener in terms of just the fiat system and how that's built and run, and the pros and cons to that, and how that ties into this new future of money, and how both systems impact us, and how the technology of blockchain is going to revolutionize our financial system. And when you talk about decentralized finance, when you talk about individuals being able to do transactions with each other directly, businesses reaching their consumers directly, storing our own money, managing our own, becoming our own personal banks, being empowered, but then also, because we weren't taught that, gone are the days where you're putting the money between the mattresses or in a hole in the backyard. It is empowering, but then for some, I've learned, is very scary as well. And so, one, I think it's enlightening individuals to not only the history of money, where it's going, how this transparency of money is going to change how we transact with each other. Not only that, but then our supply chains, how we do business. It's going to give opportunities to individuals who had been shut out of certain industries or certain levels of economy. And when I started diving into decentralized finance, oh my goodness, I forget just the blockchain, just forget collecting coins, let's just say that, but when you're empowered to learn about money in a way that's now mixed with technology, and you have to get into the weeds, you have to go deep, that is empowering. And to know that it's another way of spelling out freedom, and as far as I'm concerned, and to know that here's a tool that allows you to take the ceiling off of your finances, the potential of growth. And it is as exciting as it is, it's also terrifying. But it forces you to learn. It forces you to know, where before, I think, we're blindly going to the banks, where we're trading and buying and selling without asking questions. As artists, why I'm only getting single-digit returns from my art. It's forcing us to go deeper, see our worth, see our potential, and that's through this whole new mechanism called blockchain.
Yeah, I agree with you, Nova. So what it sounds like you're saying is that given how the system works, currently it's just very easy to use, but blockchain, since it's more difficult to use, it causes you to get more education and at the end learn a lot more and deep dive because you have no other choice.
Absolutely. And as you're deep diving, you may fall down the rabbit hole, but it opens your eyes to how connected everything is.
True.
And how very connected the technology is to our current fiat system, to our minerals, our, the golds and silver and all of that, these new technologies that are depending on this, when I say new technologies, new innovations, beyond the blockchain, that's now depending on this blockchain technology to advance it. And how do you fit into that puzzle? Mm-hmm. How does your business, or how does your service, or how does your art, or how does your voice, how does your perspective, how will you be impacted by this? I think these are the questions that we all should be asking. You don't have to become the next professor of blockchain, but to know it's here, it's not going anywhere, it's only going to continue to permeate through our society and how we do things.
I agree, and I think given that we're still at a stage where, getting into the ecosystem, it's difficult, I think people have to learn more.
Absolutely, and I feel education is critical. That's why I appreciate you and what you're doing with Women in Blockchain, and as you're going around the world speaking and sharing the programs you're creating, it's so needed because there's so much confusion. And when you turn on the TV or whatever your way of getting information, a lot of it that's coming at us is either fear
mm-hmm.
or hype. And it's not getting to the core of the real information, what's needed, who's needed to build this infrastructure, this foundation with the best intentions in mind.
Yeah, I hear you, and I think that's why it's important to have people who are building and teaching, and also what you're doing, and like you said, different people questioning what they should be getting paid, etc. So I think there's a lot there as well. I really liked your comment about asking questions. So learning because you have to ask these questions.
Absolutely. Let's not blindly walk through the woods. Let's stop and look at the signs and pay attention and dive a little deeper. Excuse me, and explore how this new sort of shift that we're going through, this digital shift, this technological shift, how is it going to benefit me? Or better question, how can I help this technology benefit myself and others? And I love using analogies and metaphors, but I would say the train is in the station, if we like it or not. Now, if you're on the other side of town, you may not know the train is here, but it's still here. And so you can choose to get on the train, you could choose to leave the train, you could be in the front car, you could be the conductor, you could decide to get on the back car. That's all up to you. Or you could stand at the station and go, that's cool, but I'm not really interested in that ride. And all of those options are okay. But to be on the other side of town and pretend that the train isn't there, that's what I don't recommend. Know it's there, recognize it's there, ask the questions, maybe try it out a little bit. And if it's for you, great. And if it's not, that's fine too. But my challenge to the audience, to your listeners and viewers is, educate yourself about this. Internet came, we're in the midst of it. Social media came, we're in the midst of it. But how many of us asked those questions when we first heard about Instagram, first heard about Twitter, first heard about the World Wide Web? How many came in to create an environment that was safe for our children? Look at the fallout. Look at the mental health issues we're dealing with after the fact. Are we going to blindly move into Web3 and not think that there will also be fallout if we do not build with positive intention?
No, I think you make a great point, and I think that's why, taking it back again, it's who's creating the curriculum and who's doing what, and then how are people educating themselves, ensuring that there's good sources that they can use, ensuring that there's places for them to go. They can, I also want to ask you, what do you think about the learn and earn model in education?
You know, it's interesting because I think it's a great model. However, I don't know if it's the motivation that's going to get people to try this technology. I'm still sort of at a wait and see. I feel where that can really be effective are those individuals that are creators, that are artists, that are looking for means to, or access to this space in a way that they can understand it, in a way that they can embrace it, to more efficiently create their art, to more impactfully distribute their art, or more efficiently distribute their art, whatever that is. I feel there's an opportunity there where those individuals would really grab on to learn to earn.
Learn and earn, learn to earn, both, yes.
However, the everyday person, I haven't seen that be enough of a motivator for individuals to really embrace the technology.
Well, thank you so much for your time, Nova, and I'll make sure to follow up with you on how you progress on your journey.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank